A year ago, Elkhart and Penn played one of the great games of the 2020 football season. The two rivals slugged it out before Elkhart stopped a two-point conversion in the final seconds, prevailing 20-19 and gaining the city's first football win over Penn in 36 years. Tonight, these two titans of the local scene meet again. There are plenty of new faces, but the goals remain the same. Who will gain bragging rights and take the first step towards a possible Northern Indiana Conference title? The answer comes next. Elkhart visits Penn on the 46th game of the week. From TCU Freed Field in Mishawaka, high school football is on the air. Tonight it's Elkhart and Penn in an NIC battle. We took a power hit to our truck about a half hour before kickoff. Fortunately, we've only missed 3 plays of the game. A Penn drive started back at its own 31. They're now 2nd and 8 at their own 45. Ryan Buckley is the quarterback of the Kingsmen. He'll hand it off to Alec Hardrick, and the speedy back gets close to the first down marker. And a first down sponsored by Klein Custom Homes. Chuck Freeby joined by Bo Hunt in the booth tonight. Bob Nagel has the night off. We hope he'll be able to rejoin us soon. Our first quarter tonight being brought to us by Trade Winds and the Galley. Penn comes in with a record of 0-4. Elkhart is 2-2 on the year. The Kingsmen coming off losses to teams like Valparaiso, Cathedral, and St. Xavier, nationally ranked teams. And there's our first penalty of the night as Josh Hugenboom of Elkhart jumps offside. Let's meet the Penn starting lineup. It's sponsored by the Penn Booster Club. We tell you about Ryan Buckley, the quarterback. Zach Lane is the leading rusher on the year. Alec Hardrick, the speedster. Matt Fulton already has a catch tonight. And that big offensive line anchored by Brendan Huffman, the left guard. So make it 1st and 5 from the Lion 42 as you look at Ryan Buckley, the 6'2 senior quarterback, catcher on the baseball team. He'll hand it off to Hardrick, and the speedy back picks up about 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 3, and we'll meet the Elkhart defense, brought to us by our friends at Sanders and Pianowski. Javen Lowe, the lone returning starter on this group. The linebackers a little bit banged up, so Nathan Munson moves into the starting lineup tonight. The secondary could be tested, but Braden Cook, the free safety, will anchor things back there. It's 2nd and 3.
Penn on their first drive, and we'd like to do our shout out to St. Andrews Products for the uniform check. Home team Penn Kingsmen, black with gold trim, white numbers, black pants with gold trim, and gold helmets. Where the visiting team's Elkhart Lions, they have white jerseys with blue numbers, blue pants with white trim, and the gold helmets with Elkhart on the sides. These teams are looking good, and so can your team. At St. Andrews Products has the finest apparel as well as promotional products. Reach us at sales at standrewscorp.com.
Alec Hardrick with a Klein Customs Homes first down up to the Lion 35 after the pickup of 5. But Hardrick, the lone back in the backfield in this set, with Zach David up to the top of your screen. Buckley wants to throw. Flush from the pocket. He delivers in time. Has Zach David for a first down up to the 22-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 13 on the play for David, his 13th catch of the year.
Penn doing a lot of ground game and passing game, mixing it up, both the pass and the run tonight, just showing a little bit of their adversity that they have.
First down sponsored by Klein Custom Homes. Buckley 2 for 2 throwing on the drive. 4 first downs for the Kingsmen already on this march. The line of scrimmage, the Lion 22, is Buckley from the pistol. Hands it to Hardrick. He'll go up the middle, and he'll plow forward for 2 yards and nothing more. The defense spearheaded that time with a nice tackle from Sergio Fernandez, the defensive tackle.
Health Markets, Matt Tolman can help you get coverage your way. Spend hours searching for coverage or let Matt do the legwork for you with a free quote in just minutes. Visit Matthew Tolman Health Markets on Facebook.
2nd and 8. Buckley took the high snap, throws out too high for the intended receiver, Zach David. And that'll make it 3rd down and 8.
Buckley's first incompletion of the night. Good throw, just a little high to the receiver out there in the flats.
And now what you would think would be a passing situation as Buckley looks to the Penn sideline. They've chewed up over 4 minutes on this opening drive, but have yet to show anything for it. Decent kicker in Braden Primrose, warming up on the sidelines if needed. Buckley drops back, fires over the middle, has his man. That is Fulton with the grab, and Fulton has the first down to the line inside the 10 to the 9.
Kona Ice, we're mobile, we're fun, we're stocked with the most delicious flavors you've ever tasted. Visit Kona-ice.com to book your party.
Matt Fulton had 5 receptions last week in the game against St. Xavier. And we welcome our live streamers who are watching on the stream sponsored by Bethel University at Nappanee Missionary Church. 1st and goal from the 9. Buckley hands off. Zach Lane tried to cut back and could not do so. Javen Lowe, they call him the natural, in the middle of that Elkhart defense, and he comes over to make the stop.
Great penetration by the defensive line for the Elkhart Lions there, really getting in the backfield and blowing that play up from the start.
2nd and goal from the 11. Buckley 3 out of 4 throwing on the drive.
For all your aches and pains, visit Competitive Edge Sports and Spine, providing chiropractic and massage therapy in Osceola, next to Wings, etc. Proudly supporting Michigan athletes. Everyone in life needs a competitive edge to win.
Hoogenboom nearly drawn offside again. And now a timeout is called by Penn as there's confusion in there. The timeout sponsored by the Glenn Schultz Agency with 6:30 to go here in the first quarter. We'll take it as well. It's 0-0 between Penn and Elkhart. You're watching the 46 game of the week. This edition of the 46 game of the week being brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. And since we joined you late, let's talk a little bit about the keys to win from the aforementioned Jordan Auto Group. For Josh Shattuck and the Lions, what do they have to do tonight?
Well, they need to stay healthy. I mean, we talked about they have 20 guys out tonight. Possess the ball. They need to make sure that they sustain drives and fundamental on defense. Play your position. Just play the fundamentals. Try to not give up the big plays.
Depending on the results of this 2nd and goal from the 11 play, we may be checking the Penn keys momentarily. Buckley gives Hardrick the running start, and Javen Lowe drags him down again after a pickup of 2. So what about Corey Yeoman and the Kingsmen? What do they have to do tonight, Bo?
Well, the biggest thing is don't give up big plays. Elkhart Lions have a lot of explosive players that can explode at any time for some big plays, and they need to stay on blocks. They just need to make sure that offensive line stays on their blocks throughout the play until the whistle blows and eliminate mental errors. Too many penalties throughout the last few games.
So a big 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line for Penn. Starting this drive back at their own 30. They've chewed over 7 minutes off the clock. Buckley signals the play to the receivers, and here we go. Lots of time. Lofts for the end zone, nobody there. So Buckley, perhaps expecting a receiver to run a different route, comes up empty on 3rd and goal, and it's time for Braden Primrose and the kicking unit to come out.
Yeah, Buckley stared him down the whole way, looking at that one receiver, and he had 4 people covering him the whole time. There was really no place to go. It was actually probably a good throw, throwing it out of the back of the end zone.
Nolan McCullough, the backup quarterback, is the holder. Primrose hit a 31-yarder last week against St. Xavier. This one will be from 26 off the left hash. The snap a little high. A good hold by McCullough. The kick is up, and it is good. 5:44 to go. First quarter. Kingsmen strike first as they lead it 3-0.
Please join us on Bethel's campus for an evening of Christian worship with Cochran and Company and a fireworks display to follow the concert. The concert is being held in the Everest Roar Auditorium on Friday, October 15th at 8 p.m. Advance tickets are on sale for $10 and $15 at the door. To purchase, go to betheluniversity.edu/tickets.
So what a drive for Penn. from their own 70, they march, or from their own 30, they march 60 yards in 10 plays. Got 5 first downs on the drive. Chewed up 6-16, but they only get 3 points out of it. And you have the feeling against this Elkhart team, you're going to have to be a little more explosive than that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked, they have some players down, but they're still going to be explosive. They're still going to put up some points. And, you know, was that a win for Penn right there? That was a great drive. They took a lot of time off the clock, and they were able to put some points on the board, and I think that's the key. They at least got some points out of it.
Matthew Zhang is the kicker for the Penn Kingsmen. Rodney Gates, one of the deep men for Elkhart. The Kingsmen with a 3-0 lead. It's their first lead since week 2 of the season against LaPorte. Toe meets leather. High driving kick that is sponsored by Health Markets Matt Tallman. Gates from his 5 tries to get around people, nothing doing.
Great open field tackle though by the Kingsmen. Way to get out, stop him from getting in the corner.
Seth Jankowski is a 3-sport athlete here at Penn, and they play him on special teams. It shows you the importance Corey Yeoman puts on that unit.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have players that can get out and hold containment. I mean, that's just like a defensive end on like an option or a sweep. You got to hold that containment and not let that guy get out the outside. Great job there of holding them down inside the 20-yard line.
That's Brady Kruper, the 6'1", 190-pound junior for the Elkhart Lions. He has thrown for 443 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not the most mobile of quarterbacks, certainly not like Cameron Wolfon last year, but he can run if he has to. 1st and 10 from the 12. Elias Leonard fumbles, and Kruper dives on the loose change back at the 10-yard line. It's a loss of 2 on the play. A bad exchange as we meet the Elkhart Lion offense, sponsored by Sanders and Pianowski. We told you about Kruper. Leonard is the leading ball carrier on the team. Gates with 17 receptions leads that group. Nathan Munson getting the start at tight end tonight. Big offensive line. How about Raekwon Lemon? 6'4", 340 a tackle.
That's a little bit of size there. I'd love to run behind that.
Well, let's see if the Lions try to here as Kruper looks to throw. Has time. There's a flag on the play. This will be coming back for a holding call against Elkhart. It was completed to Michael Granzato, but Dave Spencer, the referee tonight, signals holding against the Lions.
Yeah, and I think the Lions are lucky because it looked like they just got out of the end zone on that pass play. If he would have been in the end zone passing that ball when that holding was called, it would have been a safety.
Instead, it's going to wind up being half the distance to the goal line, but from the spot of the foul. The foul was at the 3. They'll mark it at the 1.5-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and about 20 for Josh Shattuck and the Lions.
For the finest in casual dining, look no further than the Bristol Street Cafe, located at 500 West Bristol Street in Elkhart, serving outstanding hearty breakfast and daily lunch specials until 2 p.m. Bristol Street Cafe is a proud sponsor of Elkhart High School athletics.
Kruper from the end zone, still wants to throw. He wants to go deep for Rodney Gates, and it's incomplete. Gates was covered on the play that time by Andrew Phillips, the cornerback, and let's meet this Penn defense. The defensive line's been pushed around. Brendan Arndt, the anchor of that group. The linebacking core spearheaded by Michael Paquette and Hunter Mrozinski. You saw Andrew Phillips, the corner. They'll work on him tonight. Seth Jankowski has a pair of interceptions already this year. Penn defense sponsored by Hardware Plus.
Well, we talked about how many injured players Elkhart has, but also starters that they lost from last year, with only 1 returning starter from last year's sectional team. I think that's one of the keys to this team as well.
3rd and 20. You try to get some field position. Leonard gets out of his own end zone, but not much further, as he's brought down by a host of black jerseys. Leading the way that time for the Kingsmen, it was Sam Sullivan, the defensive end. Sullivan, a 3-sport athlete here at Penn.
Wouldn't it be great to work for a company where your employees are the most valuable asset? Well, now's your chance, because Reshcore is hiring. They have production positions available in a team-driven environment with excellent benefits that include medical, dental, and a 401k. To learn more about joining the Reshcore family and a $1,000 sign-on bonus, visit reshcore.com.
Pedro Velasquez with the punt. Alec Hardrick tries to return it, and good coverage that time by the Lions as Braden Cook comes over and makes the hit at the 38-yard line. That kick, by the way, sponsored by Health Markets and Matt Tallman. So just your average calm night where a transformer from 1942 gets hit out in the parking lot, and the next thing you know, well, we're here.
Nothing by like flying by the seat of our pants and just getting it done. But hey, we're here, we're bringing it to you, and we can't be more happy to.
What a great job by our crew tonight. Mike Doherty, our engineer, Dean Korsmo, our producer and production manager, getting things ready as quickly as they could, and considering what it looked like it could have been about 6:50, the fact that we only missed the first 3 plays of the game, kudos to those gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, and also to the Penn staff and everything for getting it and really getting the power back and running for us to be able to broadcast this tonight.
Jeff Hart and his group doing a wonderful job. This is Alec Hardrick down to handoff. He's got blockers in front of him, but too many Lions to have to worry about. Pedro Velasquez comes up and makes the stop from the defensive end position.
Whether it be for the best burger in town, a juicy steak, or slow roasted prime rib, Heine's Back Barn in Elkhart is the place to go. The Deschone family has been serving the Michiana area for decades, and the food just gets better and better. Stop in tonight and say hello to Troy and the gang and enjoy a fantastic meal with great service from Heine's in Elkhart.
My apologies to Renico Stout. He was the man who made the tackle, 98, not 99. Javen Lowe with a suplex right there on the stop after a pickup of 2. Boy, big Javen Lowe missed the first couple of games of the year with an injury. You'd never know it the way he has come out firing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they're really going at it, and I think the biggest, the thing with this team is they have some underclassmen as well that need to step up, and you need to find some guys that are going to be leaders out there, and he's one of them that's really stepping up and be that leader tonight.
Can Buckley pick on the secondary now for Elkhart, which he did on the first drive, completing 3 of 5 passes.
Yeah, they did a great job with the pass, getting some big yardage.
Buckley looking left and under pressure, and down he goes. Sergio Fernandez with his 2nd sack of the season. It's all the way back at the 41. Penn out of field goal range, so Corey Yeoman will send the punt unit out and play the field position game.
Well, again, just a great pressure by that defensive line of Elkhart, just really getting in, getting the pressure on the quarterback and giving Buckley no time at all.
Matthew Zhang is the punter. He averages 31 yards a boot. The punts are sponsored by Health Markets Matt Tallman. 2 Lions back deep to receive, but my guess is if they're standing at the 5, they're just trying to make sure this one goes into the end zone if it does. That kick will hit at the 20 and roll all the way in for the touchback. Smart decision by Braden Cook there. He could have fielded, let it go, and they'll get out to the 20.
Well, you either got to catch that, come up and catch that at the 20, or do what he did right there. At Sanders and Pianowski, professional service, their clients is their first and compelling priority. The firm of Sanders and Pianowski want to take time and wish both teams well in tonight's game. Serving the Elkhart community for decades and decades yet to come, Sanders and Pianowski on the Riverwalk in downtown Elkhart.
After a 3 and out on its opening possession, let's see how Brady Kruper and the Lions do here with only 1:50 to go in the first quarter. Kruper fires. He wanted Rodney Gates, but he threw it way to the outside, and Gates couldn't get it. It's 2nd and 10.
A lot better field position for Elkhart to work with here in their second possession. They were really backed up that first possession, and that penalty backed them up even further. So they have a little bit of room to work with here.
One thing we've seen from Kruper early on, good footwork in the pocket. Known as an accurate passer, his best game this season was 10 of 15 in the win over Hammond Morton at Rice Field. It's 2nd and 10. Nathan Munson, the man in motion. Kruper throws again, too far for his intended receiver, and he got buried that time by Sam Sullivan, the defensive end, who comes up limping a little bit.
Well, it looked like he was trying to, it was that Noah Utsumi.
Well, he was trying to throw to Donnie Higgins.
Donnie Higgins, that's who it was, yeah. He got held up on that play, and if he wouldn't have got held up, then missed it kind of on that play, but he got wrapped up there, and he might have been gone.
3rd and 10 at the 20. Lions have been looking for the big play early. Haven't hit on one. Here comes a blitz. Paquette couldn't get there. Cooper gets rid of it, but too high as the second wave of pressure came in that time from big Brendan Art, the defensive lineman.
Bethel University has something for almost everyone interested in completing a degree you have previously started or interested in starting on a degree. Bethel can meet those needs. They are transfer friendly, affordable, and offer a Christ-centered educational experience. Through the adult and graduate studies, they are flexible start times, convenient in-person or online courses. Call 574-807-7000 or email admissions@betheluniversity.edu.
Pedro Velasquez with a nice punt that's fielded back at the 41 by Zach Hoskins. Hoskins comes into Lion territory to the 46-yard line. Nice 13-yard pickup that time by Hoskins before Brady Clark brings him down.
Penn with great field advantage again here on their 3rd drive. Weren't able to do anything because of that Elkhart defensive front really getting some good surge.
By the way, that kick was sponsored by Matt Tallman of Health Markets. As you take a look at Ryan Buckley, the Kingsman quarterback. 10 out of 19 was his best night this season throwing the ball. That came against Valpo in the season opener, but he only threw for 89 yards in that contest. He already has 36 tonight.
Yeah, definitely looking to pass the ball more tonight than they are running the ball.
1st and 10. That might change here with Zach Lane in the backfield next to Buckley. And it is Lane trying to go up the middle. Lane picks up about 5 yards on the play. Lane coming back from a broken leg last year. Still strong young man. He benches 295. That's not bad for a kid that weighs 193.
Yeah, he just put in the hard work and really looked to get back and play for his senior year.
Pleasure to talk to him this week at practice. Very optimistic fella. Scoreboard says 2nd and 4. As we go under a minute to go on the Intera Credit Union scoreboard. It's Lane trying to get around the outside, and Josh Hugenboom with one hand brings him down. That's some strength out there from the Lion defensive end, 6'4", 190-pounder.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies is a proud supporter of high school sports in Michiana. They know all about teamwork as they provide components for their aerospace industry, as well as medical, automotive, military, and defense. IFT is excited about the future and very proud of its past, celebrating over 60 years of excellence at IFT. Quality is a way of life.
3rd and 2 on what is possibly the final play of the 1st quarter. It's Lane again, up the middle like a battering ram. He goes up to the 35, gets the 1st down, sponsored by Klein Custom Homes. Clock will stop as they move the chains, but I think Penn will be satisfied with a 3-0 lead going to the break. So the Kingsmen on top of the Lions in this NIC clash on 46.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by TCU, Jordan Automotive Group, Bill's Heating, Intera Credit Union, Crown Trophy, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, St. Andrews Products, and the IHSAA.
2nd and 8 from the 33 for Penn after a Zach Lane 2-yard run to start the 2nd quarter. Kingsmen lead at 3-0. Ryan Buckley throws out in the flat to Zach David, and David is met by a sea of white jerseys. Boy, Javen Lowe all over this field tonight. He had help that time from Darion Newsom.
Again, great job by the Elkhart Lions defensive front, really getting pressure and making Buckley get rid of that ball a little bit sooner than he wanted to, and then covering it as well. Just, you know, a half-yard pickup on that play.
3rd and 7 now for the Kingsmen. They're at the Lion 32.
A big thank you to Barney B's Pizza. They fed our crew tonight. Great job, Mishawaka, and now the new Granger location. Well, you'll always find delicious pizza and a relaxed family atmosphere.
Crew was happy then. Here's Buckley looking to throw. Steps, fires, nice grab at the 13-yard line. That's Zach David, his 3rd catch of the night. And it's a 1st down sponsored by Klein Custom Homes. 19 yards on a beautiful crossing route that time by David.
Well, that was a great crossing route, and he caught that right there on the money. Great job by the Competitive Edge Sports and Spine replay as well. Just a great catch. It was basically just like me grabbing the Barnaby's pizza tonight.
Somebody threw it at you?
Yep, I wasn't dropping that.
Buckley now 5 out of 7 throwing the football tonight for 56 yards. Here's Alec Hardrick sneaking his way through the line before Juan Carlos Romo brings him down after a pickup of 4.
TCU is a better banking where you'll get the latest technology and you're never too far from a friendly face. Discover the TCU advantage. Become a member today at tcunet.com, federally insured by the NCUA.
They spot the ball at the 9. Scoreboard calls it 2nd and 6. It's closer to 5. Buckley taking a long time calling the signals. Had to leap to get the snap, and Hardrick will leap into the end zone for a Penn touchdown. Alec Hardrick with his 2nd touchdown run of the year. He had one against the Lions last year, and the red, white, and blue in the Kingsman spirited section enjoys that one.
Here you can see another great replay sponsored by Competitive Edge Sports and Spines. Great job by Buckley going up and getting that ball, and great hole opened up by that offensive line. I mean,
Braden Shinsky with an elimination block that time to give the opening for Hardrick. He pulled from the guard position. You get 6'4", 318 up in your face, you're going to feel it.
Yeah, definitely. He motored over and got that hole open, and it's just a great job of hitting that hole hard.
Braden Primrose on to try the extra point, sponsored by Matt Tallman and Health Markets. Out of the hold of Nolan McCullough. Looked like Elkhart was offside. It will not matter as the kick is up and it is good. And with 9:33 to go here in the first half, Penn does not look like an 0-4 team tonight. They're executing quite well on offense, and they lead at 10-0 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week is being brought to us by our friends at Intera Credit Union. We get it, and we've got it. Chuck and Bo, and normally we'd go down to the sidelines for Bill's Heating Sideline Report, but Bo's been up in the booth the last 3 weeks. Boy, Penn, I mentioned going to the break, does not look like an 0-4 team right now. What do you see from them?
Well, I think the biggest thing is I see the heart, and I see the players. They're believing in themselves, believing in their coaches, and they're not letting those losses affect them. They're coming out here, it's a new day, it's a new game, and they're just going out there and playing.
Back down to the field for the kickoff as Matthew Zhang will tee it up for the Kingsmen. And Zhang's boot is a high spinner that Rodney Gates will field at his 6. And Gates had nowhere to run. Wow, what coverage by the Penn special teams. Coming down and making the play for the Kingsmen is Josiah Williams, the 6'2", 190-pound running back. And he's got some speed, and he got to Gates in a hurry.
Our sincere thanks to the wonderful team at St. Andrews Products for supplying our broadcast team with the finest in apparel. They can do the same for your team, school, or business. Promotional products, advertising specialties, business gifts, and so much more. Call them at 800-628-9922 or email at sales@standrewscourt.com. If you have a question, our answer is always yes. So
the Lions with a little gut check here early. They give it to Elias Leonard, and he gets turned backwards after a pickup of 1. Mike Paquette was coming in to make the stop that time. The bearded wonder at linebacker has had a very nice season after an all-NIC track season last spring.
He definitely fits the build and really fits the mentality of playing that linebacker position.
And such a bright young man. That 4.14 GPA landed him as one of our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. We'll talk about it when we get to halftime. Cooper looking to find some sort of magic here on 2nd down. Has time, going deep. Nathan Munson couldn't haul it in. Munson was open out there, but looking back over the shoulder and reaching up, making that catch, kind of difficult for a young man making his first start at the tight end position.
Yeah, just a little bit out of his reach. What a great view we got there from the Competitive Edge Sports and Spine replay. But those are things that you have to be able to accomplish in a game like this. When you're struggling a little bit, you got some guys out, you got to complete that open pass right there. Wide open, nobody covering him.
And of course, Josh Shattuck would say maybe the normal player at that position would be able to complete that. Nothing against Nathan Munson. Flags thrown, whistles blown. This play is blown dead before it gets going as Dave Spencer lets us know that there were illegal proceedings down there. And Dave working tonight with Michael Banashak, Michael Grenick, James Weinberg, and Roy White. They all send their best wishes to Mr. Nagel tonight.
Klein Custom Homes in Michiana's premier home builder. Come visit one of our exclusive neighborhoods or let Klein Custom Homes build on your property anywhere in Michiana. For more, visit us at KleinCustomHomes.com.
3rd and 14 now from the Lion 15-yard line. Cooper again working for the pistol. A play action throw. He wants Rodney Gates. He overthrew him. Boy, there have been 2 or 3 of those tonight, Bo, where they've come really close to hitting them. And I know on a couple of them, you think that there may have been some contact.
Again, right there, it looked like they kind of twisted the hips a little bit. When the receiver twists the hips a little bit and there's a hand on him, that's definitely just a little bit of a grab, and it just held him up enough. But I'm not sure if he could even get to that one. That was a little bit too far out of his reach.
And maybe the reason there wasn't a flag.
Yeah.
4th down, the kick sponsored by Matt Tallman of Health Markets. Pedro Velasquez has done a nice job booting the ball tonight, and he gets off a high floater here that Hardrick will back up and fumble. The ball's still loose, and Penn has it at the 43-yard line after a great recovery by Zach Hoskins. Hardrick had this one hit him right on the shoulder pads. Actually, the helmet. And it went right off the hand of an Elkhart player before Hoskins was able to gobble it up.
One of the hardest things in football is catching a punt. I'm telling you right now. People think, oh, it's just the ball's coming in the air. One of the hardest things in football to do is catch a punt.
So what's the secret to it?
Well, the biggest thing is when you're running, you got to run on your toes so the ball doesn't bounce. And it's just like as an outfielder as well. You can't run on your heels or that ball will bounce. You got to be on your toes. And the other thing, you got to catch it with your hands. You can't catch it off your shoulder pads or off your chest. You got to be out front with your hands to make that catch.
Buckley hands off to
who else?
Zach Lane, and Zach Lane says, why me?
Yeah.
As Javen Lowe comes into the backfield for a loss of 7. This guy, well, they'll spot it at the 46, so it's only a loss of 3, but Javen Lowe has just been dominant up front tonight.
The Glenn Schultz Agency has over 32 years experience offering auto and home, life, and business insurance. With agents in Mishawaka, Goshen, and Plymouth, they'll work to identify your needs and provide coverage. Glenn Schultz Agency, protecting your dreams. Yeah, it looks like they got one of the play clocks is messed up right now, trying to get it fixed.
Ah, that's the problem. They're trying to fix the play clock down here.
It says 2H instead of 25.
That's a problem. Well, problems have been replete for the Kingsmen so far this season because they have not had the easiest road in terms of schedule. Valpo's number 2 in 5A, Cathedral number 2 in 6A, and St. Xavier of Ohio is a defending Ohio State champion. That gives them the 13th toughest schedule in the state, far and away tougher than Michigan City, LaPorte, Plymouth, or Warsaw. And one of the reasons that Penn is 0-4 right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can just go back to the last 2 weeks as well. And I think they feel that they played decent football the last 2 weeks, but their opponents they've played is probably one of, if not the best team in Ohio and the best team in Indiana.
By the way, that's info you should know, brought to us by our friends at Kona Ice. 2nd and 13 as we hit 8 minutes to go in the first half. Penn already with a 10-0 lead on Elkhart. Buckley wants to throw, has lots of time, airs it out, and it's out of bounds and incomplete. He was trying to get to Zach David. Sam Russo had the coverage that time, but even if David makes the grab, he would have been out of bounds, as you'll see from our field camera.
Urban Swirl, Michiana's favorite ice cream shop, is proud to support high school athletics. Urban Swirl offers 21 soft serve and 22 hand-dipped flavors featuring Grater's ice cream. You can choose from over 60 toppings. Come into Urban Swirl and swirl it, scoop it, or shake it up your way.
And I don't know if you've ever had Grater's ice cream, but it lives up to the name.
It does live up to that name.
3rd and 13. Here's Buckley to throw. Here comes pressure. Oh, he had a screen pass set up for Zach Lane, and he threw it too hard, and Lane couldn't bring it down.
I think Lane had some running room there, too.
Did
he had a couple big hosses out front that could have gave some good blocking. He probably would have picked up 30, 40 yards on that play.
Instead, it's 4th and 13 and punting time. The punt sponsored by Matt Tolman of Health Market.
Make your morning shine with a visit to Monterey Mexican in Mishawaka. Discover authentic Mexican breakfast dishes made daily just like the rest of the menu and served right alongside classic American dishes. Make Monterey Mexican your destination.
Matthew Zhang with the punt. It will hit at the 10 and roll out of bounds in the coffin corner. Let's see where they spot it. It's going to be at the 6-yard line when we come back. Penn leads Elkhart 10-0 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. Nothing comfortable for Elkhart tonight, at least in the early going. They trailed 10-0 in this football game. Elias Leonard with the carry that time before he's brought down by Wallace Kenich. And Leonard was able to get his best run of the night on that play as he picked up about 6 yards up to the 13.
Again, field position for Elkhart just is not the best tonight here in the first half. Hopefully things change and they can get a drive moving. They still need to pick up 2-3 first downs here to really get a little bit of momentum going into halftime.
Call it 2nd and 5. Cooper sends a man in motion. Let's see if they go with the jet sweep. No, it's a counter to Leonard, and Leonard is stopped at the 13-yard line. Penn put a lot of time in on that play Wednesday at practice with Corey Oman in his defense because of the misdirection involved.
Yeah, and that can be a big hit for a big play as well. Royal Excursion is a proud supporter of high school athletics, whether for a wedding or school event, team or corporate travel, family or social event. Royal Excursion lets you enjoy the ride, whether a day trip or cross-country travel. Arrive in style with Royal Excursion.
3rd and 3, makeable first down, maybe the first one all night for Elkhart. They have not had a first down so far this evening. Cooper wants to throw again, trying to go deep. Rodney Gates, and it's broken up beautifully by Andrew Phillips. What a play.
Boy, what a great play of coming across that. I mean, that was a touchdown all the way written across it. And here you can see the Competitive Edge Sports and Spine replay. Just great job, great fundamentals. Going up the highest point and knocking that ball away.
Outstanding defensive play by Phillips, a senior who writes for the Pennant newspaper. Maybe he'll put his own headlines in this week.
Shouldn't your financial advice focus on you, your goals, your dreams? Your Modern Woodmen of America representative can help you plan for all stages of life, from protecting to savings to retirement. Call Corey Mead at 574-612-5227 to start the conversation.
Hoskins on the punt return has room to run. He's down to the line, 23. The Velasquez punt sponsored by Matt Tolman Health Markets, but it's Zach Hoskins who had missed the last couple of games with an injury, showing that he's back and ready to go on this one. And he got a beautiful block out there from his fellow punt returner, and that's Zach David.
Check out Trade Winds Family Restaurants in Mishawaka and Elkhart. Great food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Breakfast starts at just $3.99 at Trade Winds Family Restaurant. Delicious food at a fair price.
Penn could really sink a dagger with the touchdown right here against this Elkhart squad.
Yeah.
Already up 10-0.
Again, just the field position's just been the biggest thing in this game and for this first half. Penn's had excellent field position. I think this is the 4th time inside their own territory, whereas Elkhart's been backed up inside the 24 times.
The opening kickoff's the only time that the ball has been in Penn territory all night. Here's a flag coming in from behind as Alec Hardrick is on the run, but Penn will be marching backwards here. It's a holding call called by the back judge.
Yeah, that one came in pretty quick too.
He must have had a really good look at it to throw it from where he did.
Yeah.
And he seems very confident in his call.
Great umpiring crew we have out here tonight. Veteran crew. Know them all very well.
And what a crowd we have here tonight. Of course, so far removed from last year. And kudos to the Penn fans. You know, your team is 0-4. You're coming out here watching them play in the Northern Indiana Conference opener. It'd be really easy to kind of give up on the squad, but they have come out here and supported their team and been rewarded so far.
Yeah, I mean, just a great crowd that came out tonight on this steamy September evening.
Oh, look at you getting alliterative. 1st and 16 from the 31-yard line. Ryan Buckley, the quarterback, hands it off to Alec Hardrick, and he's got a hole to run through. Hardrick still on his feet to the 14, awfully close to the first down marker.
Crystal Clear Pools in Osceola is a proud supporter of high school athletics. To all the student athletes, band members, and cheerleaders participating this fall, keep up the hard work and thank you for being leaders in your schools and communities. Crystal Clear Pools.
Russo came over and made the stop. Hardrick runs for 17 in a Klein Custom Homes first down. He's a member of the Penn track team. John Carroll, the head coach, recently announcing his retirement, but not because of athletes like Hardrick. Here's Hardrick again, going towards the end zone. Hardrick is in for the touchdown.
Hardrick's first step is just so quick. He's almost at full speed by that third step, which makes him very explosive.
He got some jet propulsion from Buckley and then was just able to carry Sam Russo into the end zone with the head of steam he had. Hardrick only 140 pounds, but he's a junior All-American in rugby, so not afraid of the contact.
The Penn Boosters root for Kingsman's success tonight and all season. They support all extracurricular activities. It's only $10 a year and is a great way to show your spirit. Last year, Penn Boosters awarded over $20,000 for academic clubs and teams. Follow them on Facebook or go to pennboosters.org.
The Braden Primrose kick is up and good. 5:01 to go in the first half. Penn trying to start the Northern Indiana Conference team season in style. Alec Hardrick takes it on in. It's 17-0 Kingsman on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by St. Andrews Products, providing apparel for everyone since 1989. There you look at the press box here at TCU Freed Field, and the students section, they've got something to be fired up about tonight, as they have been here to support their men in black, and the Kingsmen have delivered.
Yeah, and talking to some of the Penn folks earlier today, they were talking how coincidental it was that both schools, student bodies came out in red, white, and blue theme night for their nights.
Nothing wrong with that. They had a collaborative effort between the two schools before the game, signing the national anthem. That was a wonderful experience to behold. Here's Matthew Zhang with the kickoff. It's sponsored by Matt Tallman and Health Markets. And the kickoff will be finally corralled back at the 5-yard line. And Elkhart has not been able to get anything going in the return game tonight because of the wonderful coverage by Penn. And that one only got back to the 12 as Jacavion Eccles was brought down there.
Great job by the kicking team, coming down, staying in their lanes and not getting out of their assignments and making sure that they don't go and cover somebody else's territory. I mean, that's one of the biggest things when you're coming down on the kickoff is you've got to stay in your lane. And they did a great job there, and that's why you get good coverage.
One of the little pieces of jargon in football is when you start a drive inside your own 20, you're in jail. Well, the Lions have not been able to get paroled tonight. 1st and 10 back at the own 11-yard line for Brady Kruper and company. They have yet to get a first down. Kruper looking for a big strike again. This time Nathan Munson makes the catch on that little tight end route, and he goes down to the 39 for a Lion first down, their first of the night. The sophomore with his 3rd grab of the season, and he made a nice grab right there.
Yeah, the Lions haven't been afraid with Coach Shattuck to go deep numerous times tonight, and they're just going to stay at it and stay with it.
Yeah, he just keeps throwing stuff out there until they're able to hit, and the first down of the night for the Lions comes with almost 4.5 minutes to go here in the first half.
Yeah, just really needed that momentum, especially being down 17-0 at this point in the game.
Now they'll throw out into the flat, And the catch is made out there, but terrific pursuit by Andrew Phillips as he's able to bring down Robbie Stilley. And Stilley was lucky if he got back to the line of scrimmage, might have lost a yard.
A great job of A.J. Steenbeck standing him up first, missed the block, but able to stay on it and make sure he came and got it. Granger Lawnmower is proud to support Kingsman Athletics. Fall is here. Call now to set your appointment for fall service or your mower, and think ahead for you to have your snow thrower checked. Check out GrangerLawnmowerPlace.com.
2nd and 11. Hard to be thinking of snow throwers on an 80-degree night.
When transformers are blowing because of heat.
Cooper wants to throw again, fires a bullet and has his man. That's Michael Granzato down to the Penn 41-yard line for the first time tonight. The Lions in Kingsman territory.
Well, the Lions are on the move, and when it's time for your next move, contact Kent Guy with Weichert Realtors. Kent is licensed in Indiana and Michigan and has over 25 years experience. Mention hearing this in the game and receive $500 off your listing. Whether you're buying or selling, if results count, Kent is your guy.
1st and 10 from the 41. Nice pickup for Granzato of 15 yards that time. Cooper starting to feel it from the air. Munson in motion. Play action. Cooper hit as he throws. It's a pop-up, and it is incomplete or intercepted. No sign yet. It's incomplete.
Yeah, it looks like it hit the ground right before he got it. I'm sure we'll have a great replay of it. A great job, got tipped at the line and way to come back for it.
Hunter Mrzinski was trying to make the diving stop on that one. He's a baseball player, so used to that kind of grab, but it did appear from up here as though he trapped it.
Hardware Plus is a proud supporter of high school sports and has been Osceola's favorite local hardware store for nearly a century. Featuring a wide selection of products and customer service experts, Hardware Plus, where service begins with the words, "How can I help you?" and a handshake.
Elias Leonard trying to break tackles, but Ryan Treber brings him down after a pickup of 3. Treber coming back to the Penn lineup after some injuries. But that's kind of one of the big differences right now between Elkhart and Penn. Penn is able to get its guys back in a couple weeks when they get banged up. Elkhart's injuries, and we'll look at them after this play, have just been horrific this year.
Yeah, and not only is there numerous of them, but some of them are going to be lengthy injuries at that.
Cooper looking at a 3rd and 7 here at the Kingsman 38. 4-down territory for the Lions. Cooper has to roll out, reset, throws, got the first down. Nice catch by Elias Leonard. He goes down at the 29-yard line for a first down. And there's an Elkhart lineman down on the play, slow to get up. And the last thing Elkhart needs is another injury because they are a mash unit already. Look at the major injuries that Elkhart has coming into this game. 3 broken legs, a separated shoulder, 2 patella separations, an MCL tear, a broken wrist, and a dislocated hip. That's 9 players right there, and those aren't the kind you're back from in 2 to 3 weeks.
They almost like USC fighters out there getting injuries that they have. I mean, those are just injuries that you don't see year in and year out. You might have one of those throughout the whole year, but not that many of injuries.
And yet they're still competing. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. Cooper under pressure, gets rid of it, has a man. That's Stilley trying to get to the end zone and knocked out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Robbie Stilley makes the grab that time. And a beautiful snare down at the 2.
What a great pass, right on the money. Perfect spot, way to turn around, get your momentum, catch the ball first. Don't turn, catch the ball first. Just a great job of catching that ball and securing the pass and then turning and going for the end zone.
Zach Hoskins was able to knock him out of bounds at the 2 and save the touchdown, at least for now. Elkhart with timeouts remaining and a flag thrown here. It's a false start against the Lions.
When you want your home or business to look its best, call Chrisman Custom Painting or visit their website at ChrismanCustomPainting.com. Chrisman Custom Painting, your home only better.
Well, that's a blow for the Lions, who were right there knocking at the door. Now 1st and goal at the 7. A little bit different animal here for Elkhart. And a timeout will be taken by Penn. It's sponsored by the Glenn Schultz Agency. Reminder, more high school football next Friday night here on TV 46. We'll head over to Intera Field in Middlebury. That is where number 7 Northridge plays. They're hoping that they go into that game undefeated, but they got to tussle with Warsaw tonight.
Yeah, and that was a game that we were just like, Northridge, okay, they're going to be good. We didn't know what they were going to be like coming in this year. New coach, new staff, coming in, changing things up. They're good.
So defensively, only giving up 3.5 points a game. It's Northwood. Nate Andrews always has an electrifying team that has a puncher's chance, it seems, in any game. They'll take on Northridge in the NLC. Friday night, 11, Saturday morning at 9, of course, on Facebook, YouTube, and the Champions Network at 6:45 next week. Speaking of the Champions Network, again, a shout out to Bethel University at Napanee Missionary Church for sponsoring our Facebook live stream tonight. Hopefully, we know we got off to a late start, but hopefully all of you are enjoying it.
What a great stadium Northridge has over there as well. Brand new stadium, a few years old over there in Terra Field. Just a great place to be.
I know you like that baseball stadium.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's what a high school coach would dream about having over there. It's pretty nice.
First and goal at the 7. Elkhart's been moving the football here with the throwing game, but you've got a shorter field now here to throw on.
Yeah, well, I think the 5 yards actually helped them on that penalty. It gives them a little bit more room to throw the ball.
Cooper's going to try to take advantage. He lobs it up towards the corner of the end zone, but Rodney Gates couldn't get there. Andrew Phillips almost did. It'll be second and goal from the 7.
That's one of those where you have two receivers kind of running the same route, and as a quarterback, both of them look kind of open, and so sometimes you kind of throw it between the two instead of throwing it towards one of them.
Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll have our Resch Corps halftime report and give you halftime highlights and stats. We'll tell you about our TCU student athletes of the week. Marion with a 21-0 lead on Adams tonight. And a timeout being called here by Elkhart. We'll keep it here, but tell you the timeout is sponsored by Bethel University Admissions.
Well, I'm just hoping we have a little bit of time here at halftime to go grab some more Barnaby's Pizza. They just did a great job of feeding our crew tonight. It's always wonderful when we have Barnaby's Pizza, and all the places that feed us on the road on Friday nights, but Barnaby's, man, one of my favorites.
Penn has an injured player, a player that's fighting an autoimmune disease by the name of Nikos Medlin. One of the Penn teachers let the Detroit Lions know that Nikos is a big Lions fan. Here's what the Lions did after their practice on Thursday for Nikos.
Hey, Nikos, get well soon, buddy. We're thinking about you here with the Lions. You can do it. Keep fighting, man.
Yo, Nikos, what's up, bro? It's CJ Moore, man. Look, I know you're in the hospital. Just know that we're praying for you. We hope that you get better. Keep fighting. You got this, bro.
Hey, man, we cheering for you, big dog.
Yep.
For sure, man. Get better.
Hope you get well soon, Nico. We out here, man.
Get well. Much love from the Lions community.
You and our prayers, baby.
Get well. Definitely in my prayers.
For this young man, and Nikos, I hope you're watching tonight and enjoying the game and getting better up at Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago. Grouper throws out in the flat. The catch made by Danye Higgins, but Higgins is stood up at the 4-yard line. And so Elkhart's looking at a 3rd and goal from the Kingsman 4.
Yeah, it was a great job by Philip Andrews there. Really able to get up and stop that play before it even started. If he wouldn't have been able to come up on the corner there and stop that play, that would have been a touchdown for sure.
Some other scores from around the area. Warsaw leads Northridge 9-3 at the half. Goshen giving Concord fits. That's been a big rivalry over the years. Minutemen lead at 7-0 late in the first half. Here, under a minute to go. First half, Penn up 17-0. Elkhart's going to let the play clock dwindle down and take a timeout to talk about this.
Which we can't see because the play clocks are out. So they have to rely on the refs at this point.
Well, Josh Shattuck lets the side judge know that when the play clock on his stopwatch gets to 1 or 2, he wants to take a timeout. So they will do that. The timeout sponsored by Bethel University Admissions.
Health Markets, Matt Tallman can help you get coverage your way. Spend hours searching for coverage or let Matt do the legwork for you with a free quote in just minutes. Visit Matthew Tallman Health Markets on Facebook.
Saturday is a big day for college football in the state of Indiana, and the best place to catch all the action is Pulse FM. On 103.1 FM at noon, we've got the Battle from the Rock in Bloomington as number 8 Cincinnati visits Tom Allen and the Hoosiers at a sold-out Memorial Stadium. And then at 2:30, the game everybody's talking about in town. Purdue is 2-0. The Fighting Irish are 2-0, but they have taken much different paths. Can the Boilermakers get the upset? You'll find out with the Boilermaker Radio Network. Pre-game at 1:30, the kickoff at 2:30 on 92.1 and 96.9 Pulse FM. Elkhart now looking at a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. They have tried nothing but throwing the ball except for one play in this drive, Bo. Do you think they try to cross up Penn with a run here?
Well, I think they need to have the option of a quarterback running on this play, but they need to stay with the pass.
Blitz came, and Elias Leonard snuck by one set of tacklers, but not the next. So they tried to surprise him, lost 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 6, and decision time for Josh Shattuck. Does he go for the touchdown, or does he at least get points on the board here in the first half with a field goal?
Well, I believe he's still got 1 timeout left, so I think he's just going to let this clock run down, call a timeout, take a little bit more time and probably set up a 4th down play that they're going to go for it.
And here's where officials communicate with coaches. They kind of let Josh know you got to take the timeout by this point. And Shattuck waiting, calls the timeout with 1.6 seconds left. And it's sponsored by Bethel University Admissions.
Please join us on Bethel's campus for an evening of Christian worship with Cochran and Company and a fireworks display to follow the concert. The concert is being held in the Everest Roar Auditorium on Friday, October 15th at 8 p.m. Advance tickets are on sale for $10 and they're $15 at the door. To purchase, go to betheluniversity.edu/tickets.
See Dave Spencer there communicating. He has worked state finals in both football and basketball, but there is a need for more Dave Spencers out there. We need more officials in the sport, not only in Indiana, but in Michigan. I have talked to numerous athletic administrators, Bo, who have told me if more officials don't get involved in football, we're going to see more games on Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, Saturdays, because they won't have enough for just Friday night games.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that that's going to happen, and Indiana might go to teams playing on Friday and then the next ones are playing on Saturday and alternating those days. A lot of these officials are getting to the age where they're retiring and they can't do it anymore, and we just need some younger crews to get out here, get the experience, and learn what it's like to be a ref in high school football.
So Josh Shattuck has decided to take the points. He'll get the football to start the second half. Pedro Velasquez, who is 1 for 1 on field goals this year, will try a 22-yarder, not much longer than an extra point. The snap a little high. The kick is on its way. It is boom through the uprights to end the first half. So the Lions get on the board here at the end of the first half. But most of the first half was dominated by the Penn Kingsmen. Alec Hardwick had 2 touchdowns, and the Kingsmen defense has set the table. It's 17-3 Penn as we go to the Rush Corps halftime report next on 46. And welcome back to halftime at TCU Freed Field. Time now to honor our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. They're brought to us by our friends at TCU. Find out how you can become a member. Visit them online at tcunet.com. Well, because of the power problems that we've documented tonight, we didn't have a chance to actually interview our TCU student athletes. We did have a chance to meet them, and that was nice because they're very impressive young people. Let's start with Rachel Terrell. She's the Elkhart Lions representative. Cross country, swimming, and track. She has a 4.14 GPA, and she's also a member of the National Honor Society, the school's athletic council. You look at her accomplishments, she was first team all-conference swimming. Then she was also a semi-state qualifier in cross country, getting ready for that big New Prairie Invitational tomorrow, which is always a huge race.
That's one of the biggest races in the area, and we wished her best luck, and she was going home to get some rest for it.
Yeah, she knows she'll have to sharpen the elbows to go through the woods there at New Prairie. She's also a member of the track team, and she's been the MVP of the swim team her freshman, sophomore, and junior years. So congratulations to Rail. And then you've been watching Mike Paquette play linebacker tonight for the Penn Kingsmen. Paquette is also a member of the track team where he does the shot and discus. 4.14 GPA for Mike Paquette, part of the Student Athlete Leadership Council. He's on the Principal's Honor Roll, was an all-conference thrower, and plans to do some track in college.
Yeah, and what a physical specimen we saw out there as well. I mean, he's a prototypical Penn linebacker, just his attitude, his mentality, and just the ability to have the knowledge with that GPA to understand the defense.
So Rachel Terrell and Mike Paquette are our TCU Student Athletes of the Week. We thank TCU for their sponsorship of this feature and remind you to go online at tcunet.com. We're back with halftime stats and highlights from TCU Freed Field with Penn leading Elkhart 17-3. You're watching the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV 46 for over 30 years. Halftime here at TCU Freed Field on the campus of Penn High School, where the Marching Kingsmen are entertaining the fans here, and they've had plenty to shout about in this one, with Penn leading Elkhart by the count of 17-3. Up high above the fray, Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt with you. And partner, it's been an impressive display by the Kingsmen, who may be 0-4, but sure don't look like it tonight.
Well, I think the biggest thing is they're really mixing it up with the run and the pass very well. I think Buckley's doing a great job of finding the open receiver and controlling those passes and putting them on the money. I think that's the key tonight.
And the defense has kept Elkhart on the north side of the St. Joe River all night long. Let's take a look to show you how it got to be this way. Braden Primrose got things started with a field goal there to make it a 3-0 game at the end of one. The second quarter belonged to Alec Hardrick, as the speedster has 12 carries for 68 yards and a pair of touchdowns. That made it 17-0. This touchdown coming after a Zach Hoskins punt return gave him short field. The Lions, to their credit, came back with a very nice drive at the end of the first half, as Brady Kruper was able to find Robbie Stilley on this play. This was kind of the key play of the drive. It got them inside the 10, and it set up Pedro Velazquez for a field goal on the final play of the first half. Cut the deficit to 17-3. The numbers maybe not as dominating as what we've seen from the performance.
Well, I think the biggest thing is because of field position. We talked about it early in the game, and throughout that whole first half was just the field position was the biggest thing. And when Penn started in their own territory, they're not going to pick up a lot of yards because they don't have a lot of yards to pick up. Whereas Elkhart, they had that long drive, started inside the 10, and went down. I mean, and only got the 3 points, but at least they got on the scoreboard.
They got on the scoreboard, and they get the ball to start the second half. So this game is far from over, because we saw many times in the first half, Elkhart was very close to hitting big plays. They just couldn't quite get the connection.
Yeah, and you're going to see that again in the second half. They're going to go for those big plays. They're going to try to get them, and Josh Haddock believes that his team can do it, and they can connect them. They were so close a few times, and this could be easily a 14-14 game or 17-17 game if he would have connected on a few of those plays.
But the winner of this one, undefeated in NIC play. So that's the good news. You come out of this one with a win, you're still in the conference race. 17-3. Penn leads Elkhart at halftime. This has been the Rush Corps halftime report. For our live stream audience, we'll try to come up with some scores from other games for you in just a moment. You're watching the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to us in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Chuck Freeby, Bo Hunt back with you at TCU Freed Field as the Kingsmen get ready for the second half. Bo, we normally come to you for a Bills Heating sideline report, and maybe you would have talked to both coaches by now, but I'm going to make you kind of give the adjustments you think both coaches are going to go with here in the second half.
Well, I think with Penn and Corey Yeoman, I think the biggest thing they probably went in the locker room and talked about was, you know, this is what a first half can look like. We can go out there, we can play aggressive on defense, offensively, we make the plays, and we just need to continue that for 48 minutes, continue it for 4 quarters, and make sure we go out there and finish this game off. Josh, on the other hand, I think he just goes in there and he's optimistic about the whole thing and just say, hey, we're still in this game. We make a couple big plays, we can win this ball game. Go out there, keep doing what they're doing, and making sure that the playmakers make those plays.
I want to remind you, our third quarter tonight being brought to us by our friends at Trade Winds and the Galley.
For the finest in casual dining, look no further than the Bristol Street Cafe, located at 500 West Bristol Street in Elkhart, serving outstanding hearty breakfast and daily lunch specials until 2 p.m. The Bristol Street Cafe is a proud sponsor of Elkhart High School athletics.
So Elkhart will receive the kick after deferring, winning the coin toss tonight. And this will be a critical drive for the Lions as they try to get closer to Penn here in the second half, trailing 17-3. They will have to find a way to stop the running of Alec Hardrick. He had a fabulous first half, 12 carries, 68 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And he only 140 pounds, but that makes him kind of difficult to find behind those 300-pounders on the line.
Yeah, and one of the things I really like about him is that first step. He's able to really accelerate on that first step, not just go side to side, but also accelerate at the north-south, vertical, and making sure that he gets his speed going right away. And when he hits that hold, he's through that line of scrimmage.
Style-wise, and this will take you back a little ways, but I know you're a bit of a Michigan fan. It reminds me of Jamie Morris, who played at the University of Michigan. They'd have those big offensive linemen. He'd duck down behind him, and by the time you found him, he was 5 yards downfield.
Courtney Davis, Fort Wayne Snyder, bring up a name right there. Great job. He went to Bowling Green. Good guy. Was able to play against him in college as well. Just a fantastic runner. Short guy, able to get behind those big runners.
Matt Tolman of Health Market sponsors the kickoff. It will come off the foot of Matthew Zhang. And a high spinning kick that will be fielded back at the 5-yard line. Elkhart has had problems with that all night long. Stilley had problems there. He brings it out to the 13-yard line. He's spun down that time by Jake Bayless. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Lions inside their own 20 again.
Yeah, they switched out Gates and put somebody else, and Gates had dropped a couple of them earlier as well. So trying to change some things up a little bit, but the same thing happened.
And again, not making excuses, but when you lose 20 players to injuries, you lose depth everywhere, and you certainly lose continuity on special teams.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things too. I mean, you understand on offense it's going to happen, but the ability to receive those kicks, one of the hardest things to do in football, and we've seen it here tonight.
So Brady Cooper at quarterback has time to throw. He's going to air it out deep for Rodney Gates, who has his first catch of the night to the Kingsman 42-yard line. That's a 45-yard strike to the leading receiver for the Lions.
Here you can see a great job of Gates really getting to the inside of the defender, not letting him get around. Great job, and thanks for Competitive Edge Sports and Spine for that replay.
Andrew Phillips had the coverage that time, but that's the first time tonight. And you mentioned Gates using that big body of his, 6'1", 175 pounds, but just interviewing him this week, he looked much bigger than that.
Yeah, he plays much bigger than his size out there, and that was a great job there, using his body and getting to the inside of that.
Cooper again with time to throw. Now running out of time, lost the football, and Elkhart falls on it at the 40-yard line. It was poked away from behind that time by Josiah Williams. And you'll see another look here on the Competitive Edge Sports and Spine replay. Williams with the strip sack. Now it did look as though he was trying to shovel past there, and it could have been ruled incomplete.
Yeah, that very easily could have been ruled incomplete. He looked like he started to go forward, but the arms kind of collapsed around him, and the ball slipped out of his hand.
So it's 2nd and 8. A blitz coming, picked up by Leonard, and the catch made by Michael Granzetto. And Granzetto battling close to the first down. He'll be about 2 yards short. It'll be 3rd and 2 after a pickup of 6.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies continues to be the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Our 3 Indiana locations are involved with supplying process components for aerospace giants, including the latest developments for Boeing and SpaceX. At IFT, we're like the teams in this game, working toward a great finish.
So after the Granzetto catch, it's 3rd down. Scoreboard says 3. From the 34-yard line. Cooper has worked from the pistol all night, no different here. It's Elias Leonard on the handoff, and Leonard battled his way and got the first down, it does appear, at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they're coming in. Not quite marking it a first down there. David Spencer does mark it a first down. Good opening drive here the second half for this Lions team.
But you've got to be able to finish it, and you've got to be able to finish it in the end zone. Field goals won't get the job done for Elkhart tonight.
Kona Ice. Well, we're more mobile, we're fun, we're stocked with the most delicious flavors you've ever tasted. Visit Kona-ice.com to book your party.
Moses Fortoso comes into the game as a tight end. It's a double tight end set here for Elkhart with Nathan Munson flanked to the right. Protection for Cooper. He throws for Rodney Gates, and it is broken up nicely by Andrew Phillips, who has had a wonderful game at cornerback tonight.
Phillips has done a great job of breaking up some passes, and there's just another example of really getting there. He can see a great competitive edge sports and spine replay. Gates was right there. He had it in his hands. Just a great breakup right there of exploding through his hands with his free arm.
Well timed by Phillips. If he got there early, it was so fractional that it really didn't matter. 2nd and 10. Another blitz coming. Cooper can't get on the football. It's still loose. And
Still
Penn
loose.
has it. Penn has the football at the 47. Brendan Arndt gets the loose change. His first fumble recovery of the year, and the first turnover of the night goes the Kingsmen's way. A high snap, and Cooper just couldn't corral it. Penn takes over at the 48, 1st and 10 when we come back on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by Imagineering Finishing Technologies. IFT, where quality is a way of life. 1st and 10 at the 48 for Penn after the turnover. Ryan Buckley at quarterback wants to go for the home run ball. He throws the screen pass to Zach Lane, and he is hunted down from behind on a terrific open field tackle by Sergio Fernandez, a defensive lineman.
Yeah, just a great job of really getting in there and getting that, not allowing a big play. We saw that play earlier in the game, and they could have had a big play, but they didn't.
I think Fernandez read it well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was because earlier in the game they saw it. It was an overthrow by Buckley, and then right there he did a great job of reading that play and not allowing it to be a big play by Zach Lane.
2nd and 5 at the 43. It's Zach David in motion, a little shovel pass to him, and David takes it ahead for 3 yards before he's hauled down by Anthony Escobedo, the linebacker, who's a member of the wrestling team at Elkhart.
For all your aches and pains, visit Competitive Edge Sports and Spine, providing chiropractic and massage therapy in Osceola next to Wings, etc. Proudly supporting Michiana athletes, everyone in life needs to find a competitive edge to win.
Key 3rd and 2 here for the Kingsmen. Trying to chew up some clock with this drive as well. You look into the eyes of the young quarterback, Ryan Buckley. The senior calls out the signals, hands it to Zach Lane. Lane with a nifty move to get the first down up to the 36. It's sponsored by Klein Custom Homes. We mentioned Alec Hardrick is a rugby player. So too is Zach Lane. And the fancy footwork that time got him the first down.
Yeah, just a good job of really getting through that line, picking up the necessary yards. That's all you're looking for in that situation, and making sure you pick up the yards needed for that first down to continue this drive.
Now look who's back in the backfield with Buckley. It's Hardrick with the 2 touchdowns tonight, 68 yards rushing so far. And it's Hardrick off the right side, slamming forward for about 4 yards. Had a nice block that time from Brendan Huffman, the right guard, who not only is a terrific football player, 311 pounds, but he volunteers at the food pantry and works at the homeless shelter as well.
Great combination they have with the running backs there, just rotating them in, making sure they're fresh and healthy, and their legs are really underneath them and ready to go.
It's 2nd and 7. 2 receivers to the left of Buckley. They'll run to the left with Hardrick. Good cut to try to get around Hugaboom, who hangs on to the ankles and makes the tackle.
A good job of really picking up 3 yards there on the play, though, bringing it to a manageable 3rd and 3, long 3, 3rd and 4.
Penn cheerleaders have had plenty to cheer about tonight. Their team up by 14, looking for win number 1 of the season. 3rd and 4, midway through the 3rd. Lions showing blitz. And Buckley getting a new play from the sidelines. And of course, the play clocks are shut down, so the officials communicating with the players. Buckley gives it to Hardrick around the right side. Somehow he got the first down up to the 23-yard line.
What a great job of really reading your block. You can see the pulling guard coming over, coming through the hole. Just a great job of really getting through the hole and picking up the yards needed.
Trying to catch Hardrick is like trying to catch a butterfly with a fork.
Wouldn't it be great to work for a company where their employees are the most valuable asset? Well, now's your chance because Rushcore is hiring. They have production positions available in a team-driven environment with excellent benefits. Visit rushcore.com.
Buckley on the run, fires, and it is caught for the first down to the 9-yard line. What a grab that time by Brock Oldick. His third catch of the year, and the junior comes up with a nifty snare. Here you'll see it again on the Competitive Edge Sports and Spine replay.
Buckley got awfully close to that line of scrimmage, just behind it to make that pass. Great job of going down and getting that and gaining possession, getting both arms underneath that ball so it didn't hit the ground.
Nathan Pompey had very good coverage that time, but it didn't matter. First and goal at the 9. It's Lane on a cutback run, and Lane is hauled down in the backfield that time at the 10-yard line. Racing in to make the play was Nathan Munson, getting the start at linebacker tonight for the injured Gavin Hauser.
Whether it be for the best burger in town, a juicy steak, or slow roasted prime rib, Heine's Back Barn in Elkhart is the place to go. The Deschone family has been serving the Michiana area for decades, and the food just gets better and better. Stop in tonight and say hello to Troy and the gang and enjoy a fantastic meal with great service from Heine's in Elkhart.
Buckley on second and goal gives it to Lane. Big hole, but it closed down quickly thanks to Renico Stout, who had help from Darian Newsom.
Also like to thank Sanders and Pianowski. Their professional service to their clients is their first and compelling priority. The firm at Sanders and Pianowski want to take time and wish both teams well in tonight's game. Serving the Elkhart community for decades and decades yet to come. Sanders and Pianowski on the Riverwalk in downtown Elkhart.
Matt Yakey does a great job there at the Sanders and Pianowski law firm. It's third and goal from the 6. Zach David in motion. Buckley going left. Hit as he throws. Heaves it for the end zone. It was caught but out of bounds.
Yeah, looked like he had a foot out of bounds. Might have been running along the back line when he caught the ball out of bounds and might have come back in. But yeah, he's out of bounds already before the ball's there.
Great look on the Competitive Edge Sports and Spine replay.
He never even was in bounds. He was out of bounds the whole time.
In the Canadian Football League with those big end zones, it would have been fine for Brock Oldick, not here. And so Braden Primrose comes on for his second field goal attempt of the night. This one a 22-yarder. His earlier one was off the left hash, this one off the right. Elkhart got a great jump and a little too good a jump as they were offside on the play. So it would be half the distance to the goal line. And now decision time for Corey Yeoman. They'll repeat the fourth down. It'll be at the 3.5-yard line. Corey wants to find out exactly the spot so he can make the decision.
Bethel University has something for almost everyone. Interested in completing a degree you have previously started or interested in starting on a degree, Bethel can meet those needs. They are transfer friendly, affordable, and offer a Christ-centered educational experience. Through the adult and graduate studies, they are flexible start times, convenient in-person or online courses. Call 574-807-7000 or email admissions@betheluniversity.edu.
Corey had declined the penalty. They went ahead and moved the ball forward anyway. And I'll tell you, folks, why he declined it. He didn't want to make the angle worse here for Braden Primrose or more difficult. It's actually an easier angle if the line of scrimmage is back at the 7 or back at the 6, I should say, and the set down is around the 13. So now Dave Spencer's got to get this all sorted out with his group.
Yeah, you're right on that, Chuck. Kicking from the hash marks. In high school, the hash marks are farther out, so it makes it a tougher angle in order to hit that upright when you're closer to that line of scrimmage. So when you're back further, it actually makes it a little bit easier on that angle.
Well, they went ahead and moved it forward anyway. And this will be a 20-yard attempt for Primrose. Elkhart was offside again. Well, they keep making offside penalties, and Penn's going to go for it.
Yep. They're at this point, they get down about the 2.5-yard line, 2-yard line at this point. They feel that they're just going to go for it. If Elkhart's going to jump offside, we're going to go for it.
So that's 2 offsides penalties on the Lions. Let's see if this comes back to bite them in the keister right here on 4th and goal at the 1.
Barnaby's Pizza in Mishawaka, now the new Granger location, where you'll always find delicious pizza and relaxed family atmosphere. You can also order online at MishawakaBarnabys.com. We'd like to thank the Barnaby's Pizza, Mishawaka, and Granger for feeding our production crew with great pizza.
Lane and Hardrick in the backfield, flanking Buckley. Hardrick already with 2 touchdowns tonight. He wears number 7. New play call coming in from the sidelines. Buckley lets the receivers know. It's Hardrick to the end zone, touchdown Penn. His 3rd of the night.
Just a great job of really exploding through that line of scrimmage and knowing the distance he had to get to. Saw the hole and made the cut right away. Didn't even have to follow the blocks because he saw that hole.
2nd time tonight, Braden Shinsky has been an absolute bulldozer out there at the guard position. 6'4", 318. He just turned 18 years old on Sunday and gave himself a birthday present with a pancake.
Yeah, it was a great job of really exploding off the line by this Penn line. Just great penetration or push that they're getting off that line of scrimmage.
So Braden Primrose on to try the extra point. This is sponsored by Matt Tolman Health Markets. And the kick is up, and it is good. 3:39 to go in the 3rd. And PENN is on top in this one. Alec Hardrick, have yourself a night. 3rd time to pay dirt. 24-3 Kingsmen on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by Intera Credit Union. We get it, and we've got it. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt. Bob Nagel is missing tonight, but we hope he's back with us next week as you take a look at Josh Shattuck over on the Elkhart sidelines. 2nd year as the head coach of the Lions, and he has found it a much tougher go than year 1, mainly because in year 1, not only was his team healthy, it was extremely talented.
Yeah, and they lost a lot of those starters from last year's team, and I think that's one of the biggest things coming in this year is they had to rebuild and had to get some new guys really step up and be leaders. Great opening drive they had there, this last drive they had until they had the fumble. Bad snap.
So Matthew Zhang about to do the kicking here for Penn. It's sponsored by Matt Tolman Health Markets. The returns have not been pretty for Elkhart tonight. Still, he takes this one at his 5. This time he finds a little bit of running room and at least gets past the 20 to the 22.
First time on a kickoff, I believe they've actually been past the 20 on a Penn kickoff. Good coverage for Penn as well, but a little bit better starting field position here for the Lions.
So Brady Kruper had a good drive going at the beginning of the 3rd quarter, but then a bad snap was fumbled and set up Penn in positive territory again. Let's see if Kruper and the Lions somehow can find the gumption for a comeback here tonight.
St. Andrews Products is celebrating over 30 years of serving corporations, high school and colleges, as well as the PGA Tour. We are proud to support the New American Dunes Golf Course in Grand Haven, Michigan, providing resources for the Folds of Honor missions and providing scholarships to veterans and their families. Let us help your cause. Reach us at sales@standrewscorp.com, where your expectations become our standards.
Elias Leonard, the running back, and Brendan Arndt knocks him off his pins after a pickup of 1. Leonard, a sprinter on the Elkhart track team, also a high jumper, but he has not been able to get untracked tonight. 2nd and 9. Cooper going to throw. On the run, fires, and it's knocked away. Another nice defensive play by guess who? Andrew Phillips.
Andrew Phillips again on the great tip there. Wide open receiver. He just did a great job of going highest point. See him going right up to that highest point where the receiver is and knocking that ball away. 3rd time he's done that tonight, of going to that highest point and knocking that ball away.
There's staff at Heine's Back Barn that don't get as many tips as Andrew Phillips has had tonight.
Klein Custom Homes in Michiana's premier home builder. Come visit one of our exclusive neighborhoods or let Klein Custom Homes build on your property anywhere in Michiana. For more info, visit us at kleincustomhomes.com.
Flags thrown and whistles blown. A blitz was coming and Elkhart had a false start. One position change that Penn has made tonight, they have moved Josiah Williams from a running back to defense. And he has caused some havoc out there tonight. He wears 33, maybe not a lot of tackles, but he's had a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
I think the biggest thing is that Penn's played it in their positions and they've not overplayed and they've made sure that they help each other out if needed, but they've played their position and hadn't really got outside of the scheme of things.
And they've avoided the mental errors that Corey Yeoman talked about before the game. Cooper trying to get to Gates again, but Seth Jankowski had step-for-step coverage that time. It'll be 4th down and a punting time for Elkhart, sponsored by Matt Tallman and Health Markets.
The Glenn Schultz Agency has over 32 years experience offering auto and home, life and business insurance with agents in Mishawaka, Goshen, and Plymouth. They'll work to identify your needs and provide coverage. Glenn Schultz Agency, protecting your dreams.
Pedro Velasquez averaging 36 yards a kick on his punts this year. Gets ready to kick it deep. And a high hanger into the September night. Hoskins makes the fair catch at the 44, and Penn in Elkhart territory once again.
Great field position again. Urban Swirl, Michiana's favorite ice cream shop, is proud to support high school athletics. Urban Swirl offers 21 soft serve and 22 hand dip flavors, featuring Grater's ice cream, and you can choose from over 60 toppings. Come in to Urban Swirl and swirl it, scoop it, or shake it up your way.
There's a holding call against Penn, but they have been the kings of the Northern Indiana Conference. Over the last 10 years in the NIC, Penn is 50-4 with 8 titles. No disrespect to what Marion did last year, which is kind of amazing for a school with its enrollment. And obviously Mike Davidson's team is off to a good start this year, 2-0 in the NIC. But you have to think that the NIC Conference Championship game is probably next week between Penn and Marion.
Yeah, that has a good point right there, that could be the conference championship for the North for those two teams because of the ability for everybody else to go up against these two. You got to go through Penn, you got to go through Elkhart, and right now you got to go through Marion.
Ryan Buckley, very steady night tonight at quarterback. No turnovers so far. Has thrown the ball well. Zach Lane cuts it upfield and picks up about 7 on the play. Good run that time by the 193-pound senior. Lane from a family of Penn athletes. His mom and dad both went here back in the mid-90s, and he says he hears about the legacy often. I asked him, what's the best thing about being a Kingsman? And he kind of paused and he goes, well, I don't know anything else.
That's kind of growing up. A lot of these Penn kids, their parents went here, their grandparents went here, and that's one of the things, the legacies that lives on here at Penn.
2nd and 3. Buckley under pressure, got rid of it to Lane, and there's a flag on the play, and look at Lane accelerate. Lane to the end zone, touchdown.
Yeah,
holding on Penn, it's coming back.
There's that screen that we talked about earlier in the game. They run it again, this time to the right side, but just great job of Lane and getting out there. Unfortunately, having the holding call, it's going to call it all the way back.
Dave Spencer letting Corey Yeoman know who the guilty party was, and we'll see if we can pick it up on the Competitive Spine replay. Competitive Edge Sports and Spine with the replay. Boy, the flag came in well behind the play. I suppose you could have maybe called a block in the back right there, but that's not where the flag was thrown. And then Lane just hit another gear.
Make your morning shine with a visit to Monterey Mexican in Mishawaka. Discover authentic Mexican breakfast dishes made daily just like the rest of the menu and served right alongside classic American dishes. Make Monterey Mexican your destination.
So 2nd and 18 for the Kingsmen, one of the rare times they've been behind the chains tonight. Minute 25 to go, third quarter. Here's Lane trying to go up the middle, and he's corralled nicely by Renico Stout after a pickup of about 3. It'll be 3rd and 15.
I was just about to say that Penn would really like to have a long, thorough drive here, really waste some time and go into that fourth quarter, but now facing the big long second down that they had again here along 3rd and 15, need to pick up that first down first here.
Corey Yeoman in his 19th year as the head coach of the Kingsmen, 185 and 49 in his tenure. Hasn't had many chances to avenge losses, but trying to avenge one that happened to Elkhart last year. Buckley rolls out, flips out into the flat. He's got his tight end, Mason Wilson, his 3rd catch of the year. Wilson, a 3-sport athlete. He does hoops and unified track. He takes it up to the 46-yard line. It'll be 4th down in a punting situation for the Kingsmen.
Royal Excursions is a proud supporter of high school athletics, whether for a wedding or school event, team or corporate travel, family or social event. Royal Excursion lets you enjoy the ride. Whether a day trip or cross-country travel, arrive in style with Royal Excursion.
So Penn lining up in punt formation, but Matthew Zhang's going to let the rest of the time tick off the clock here in the third quarter at TCU Freed Field. Emotions always high when these two big rivals get together. Over the years, Penn has dominated the Elkhart schools. Elkhart got the win last year, and Penn says, not so fast, my friend. They lead at 24-3, heading to the fourth on the 46 game of the week. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by the Jordan Auto Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. Hasn't exactly been that kind of night for us tonight at TCU Freed Field with a power hit right before the game, but Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt high above the fray. We normally go to you for a Bills Heating sideline report. So we talked about Penn and Marion for the NIC title next week. We've seen Marion once, but you're familiar with what Mike Davidson's team is doing lately. How do you see that matchup?
Well, when we saw them earlier, we weren't sure exactly how they're going to work that quarterback situation out. I think it worked itself out. And these last two games, they've just putting up points and points and points, kind of what we expected transferring from last year. And I see a high-scoring game. So Penn punts the ball away here to start the fourth quarter. A fourth quarter that's being brought to us by our friends at Trade Winds and the Galley. As you look at Josh Shattuck over on the Elkhart sideline. We mentioned it's his second year as the Elkhart High coach. Of course, he spent 3 years at Elkhart Central, and he's also coached at Gladwin in Michigan, Seymour. Mentored by Tony Anise of Ferris State. Really relies on Tony just for guidance and his coaching wisdom, and tries to mirror a lot of things they do with that Bulldog program. Just a pleasure to talk to, and just a great guy as well. Just not only at football events, and we've seen him, but basketball events as well.
Cooper's going to be called for intentional grounding right here, as the pass is incomplete, but there was not a back in the neighborhood. So that will basically go down as a sack for the Kingsmen and a loss of down for Elkhart.
Check out Trade Winds Family Restaurant in Mishawaka and Elkhart. Great food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Breakfast starts at only $3.99 at Trade Winds Family Restaurant. Delicious food at a fair price.
You'll get another look. It is a 5-yard mark off from the spot. Competitive Edge Sports and Spine, our replay sponsor tonight. Cooper feeling that pocket collapse around him, and then just as the contact is made, behind the back passes rarely work well in football. There's fancy in basketball, but not so good in football.
Maybe if you're Patrick Mahomes, you can throw it that way.
He'd be about the only one I can think of. So Elkhart now looking at a 2nd and long from back at their 13-yard line. 2nd and 18 to be exact. The running game has been non-existent for the Lions tonight. So Cooper wants to throw again. Pocket collapses. He throws on the dime to Danye Higgins, and Higgins is stopped just short of the first down by maybe a half yard. Past the 30, it'll be 3rd and inches.
Great job of really stepping up in the pocket that time and finding the open receiver and picking up some big yardage, making it manageable 3rd and 1 here.
Higgins missed the last 2 games with an injury. He's back now. That's another weapon that Elkhart has in the holster.
Crystal Clear Pools in Osceola is a proud supporter of high school athletics. To all the student athletes, band members, and cheerleaders participating this fall, keep up the hard work and thank you for being leaders in your schools and communities.
Cooper again wants to throw. Steps up in the pocket, going deep for Rodney Gates, off his hands and incomplete. Oh, that pass was right there.
Ooh. Rodney went up with one hand. He's going to regret that tonight. He watches this game at 11 o'clock tonight or 9 a.m. tomorrow. Great job, great throw. Just goes up with one hand, put that other hand up there, catch the ball at the tip.
That ball could not have been located better for the receiver.
Yeah, the Penn Boosters root for the Kingsmen's success tonight and all season. They support all extracurricular activities. It's only $10 a year, and it's a great way to show your spirit. Last year, Penn raised over $20,000 for academic clubs and teams, and follow them on Facebook or go to pennboosters.org.
On 4th and 1, Elkhart goes for it, and the Lions are able to get the first down on the run by Elias Leonard. He went behind big Raekwon Lemons that time. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 32. Some other scores: John Glenn leading Knox 21-0 in the 3rd. Concord on top of Goshen 21-0 in the 4th. Otsego defeats Dowagiac tonight up in Michigan by a count of 14-0. And Warsaw now leading Northridge 22-3. That game in the 4th quarter at Fisher Field in Warsaw. Cooper hands it off. Elias Leonard finds no running room that time against the Penn defense. There's Josiah Williams. We were talking about him earlier, playing defense tonight. He's a sprinter and a wrestler and a tough customer on defense tonight.
Yeah, just doing a fantastic job tonight, really containing and making sure he's getting in there and being aggressive. I think that's the biggest thing, and really getting some motivation on this defensive line for the Penn Kingsmen.
West Noble leading Fairfield tonight 10-6 in the 4th. Northwood on top of Wawasee 37-7 in the 3rd. We look forward to seeing Nate Andrews and the Panthers next week on TV 46 up in Michigan. Good one on Kalamazoo tonight. St. Joseph leading Kalamazoo Central by a count of 7-6. Cooper on play action, fires out on the right side. Gates makes a nice snare that time, but good coverage by the Kingsmen as the tackle is made there by Hunter Merzinski. So Kona Ice wants you to have some info you should know, and Rodney Gates coming in the game tonight. One of the reasons Cooper has looked for him is it has worked. He had almost half of the Lions' receptions coming in the game this evening. Timeout called by Elkhart with 9:11 to go in the 4th quarter, and Penn leading 24-3.
Shouldn't financial advice focus on you, your goals, your dreams? Your Modern Woodmen of America representative can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to savings to retirement. Call Corey Mead at 574-612-5227 to start the conversation.
Reminder, next Friday night, more high school football comes your way on TV 46. Nate Andrews and the Northwood Panthers will be 4-2 heading into Middlebury to take on the Northridge Raiders, who are losing tonight to Warsaw. Great action in Elkhart County in the Northern Lakes Conference. We'll bring it to you from Intera Field, live on Facebook, YouTube, and the Champions Network at 6:45. And of course, as we have for over 30 years, on TV 46 Friday night, 11, and Saturday morning at 9. LaVille leading Caston 49-6 in the 4th tonight. Triton on top of Culver 28-16, that game in the 4th as well. And in Michigan, Paw Paw leads Sturgis 28-18 in the 3rd. Here it's 3rd and 7 for the Lions. Cooper on play action fires to Rodney Gates, but he is well covered again. Seth Jankowski makes the stop at the 39-yard line, and it'll be 4th down. Jankowski, a 3-sport athlete at Penn. He's a member of the basketball team and an outstanding runner in the 800. He only lost to Will Neubauer, the state champion last year in the NIC meet, by 0.3 of a second in the 800 meters. So Jankowski, who comes from a family of runners, expected to be one of the favorites in that event next year in the state of Indiana.
And what a great job the cornerbacks have been doing tonight for Penn. Just this game could have been really maybe even a lopsided Elkhart score if they wouldn't have played the game that they played tonight.
On 4th and 3, Granzato can't come back and get the ball from Kruper. It's incomplete. Penn takes over on downs at the Lions 39.
Granger Lawnmower is proud to support Kingsman Athletics. Well, fall is here. Doesn't feel like it, but it is. Call now to set your appointment for fall service on your mower, and think ahead for have your snow thrower ready. Check out GrangerLawnmowerPlace.com.
Mishawaka beats Plymouth tonight by a count of 42-0 over at Steele Stadium. And up in Michigan, they play that 8-man football at some of the smaller schools. Bo Bridgman is now 4-0. They beat Mendon tonight 45-0. Reed Haskins, their fabulous quarterback, ran for 264 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Couldn't imagine only having 7 other guys out there, you know, on the field rather than having 10 other guys beside yourself. It's what they've played and it's what they've done. No.
False start on Penn. We might have to go up there and do one of those 8-man games sometime, just so that people can see what it's like.
Run the ball a couple of times with only 8 guys on defense.
Well, there were times where it looked like there were only 8 on defense when you were playing, my friend.
When it's time for your next move, contact Kent Guy with Weichert Realtors. Kent is licensed in Indiana and Michigan and has over 25 years experience. Mention this in the game and receive $500 off your listing. Whether you're buying or selling, if results count, Kent is your guy.
Marion now leading Adams 28-3, that game in the 4th quarter. Here's Buckley with the handoff, and Zach Lane battles back up just past the original line of scrimmage, picks up 6 on the play. And the Penn running game really clicking tonight. We haven't talked much about that offensive line, but my goodness, they've got some size up there. Both 300-pounders with Sahib Al-Shawi, Braden Shinsky, and Brendan Huffman. Then you've got Joe Goralczyk, the center, who's a senior, and Danny Lupa, the offensive tackle.
Yeah, great size up front, especially going into the NIC. I think that's one of the big advantage for Penn is that offensive line.
Timeout sponsored by Bethel University Admissions. 7:51 to go in this one. Penn comfortably in front, 24-3 on 46. This edition of the TCU TV 46 High School Game of the Week brought to you in part by TCU. One of those nights, folks. They're empowering members for 90 years, federally insured by the NCUA.
Not only that, we keep getting lights going out here above us. Back on, though. Back on. We can get our reading in.
Nobody wants to know how the sausage is made.
Yep.
They just want to know how it tastes. And for the Penn fans tonight, it tastes really, really good.
Yep. Just a great job of the Penn staff and getting everything going and getting this power back on and getting us ready to go. Only missed the first 3 plays. That was it.
2nd and 8 from the 38 for the Kingsmen, and it's Zach Lane again, and this time he is buried by Javen Lowe, but Lowe lands hard on his head and is down on the turf. Slow to get up.
What a game he's had tonight. Just defensive leader that he has out there. He's trying to shake it off right now.
Javen hated missing time earlier in the season with an injury. He's been undergoing quite a bit of physical therapy, taking medicine, just trying to get back, like he said, into his groove. He appeared to be in his groove in the first half tonight. Now, that's about the first time we've called his name in the second half.
Yeah, I think Penn definitely made an adjustment. I'm sure they've probably been double teaming here most of the second half.
Play action, Buckley fires in the flat and has Lane, who makes some nifty moves, and Zach Lane jitterbugs his way down the sidelines and goes out of bounds inside the 20 to 19. Lane has been used as a receiver a couple of times tonight. That's his 5th catch of the year. You get another look from Competitive Edge Sports and Spine. The pressure came in, but Buckley handled it with savvy, and so did Lane once he made the grab.
Hardware Plus is a proud supporter of high school sports and has been Osceola's favorite local hardware store for nearly a century, featuring a wide selection of products and customer service experts. Hardware Plus, where service begins with the words, "How can I help you?" and a handshake.
First down sponsored by Klein Custom Homes. West Noble beat Fairfield tonight 13-6. 1st and 10 from the 19. Lane takes the handoff, goes around the right edge, breaks contain. Lane will have this run brought back with a holding call. Side judge was staring right at it down at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, he was able to get that corner, but the only reason he got that corner was a holding call out there.
So you'll take another look here on the Competitive Edge Sports and Spine replay from field level. And let's see if we can pick it up. It's going to be, well, it was where 83 from Elkhart was. Or actually 83 from Penn. Mason Wilson, the tight end, guilty of the hold.
Right from the start, right as soon as he got to the edge there. When you want your home or business to look its best, call Chrisman Custom Painting or visit their website at ChrismanCustomPainting.com. Chrisman Custom Painting, your home only better.
1st and 11 from the 21 because the penalty was so far downfield. Alec Hardrick with 3 touchdowns tonight takes the handoff, tries to burst through the hole, but he's corralled there by Josh Hugenboom after a pickup of about 5. Elkhart will fall to 2 and 3 with the loss tonight. The Lions hoping to be able to bounce back in NIC play, but a lot of it incumbent on Josh Shattuck and his team just learning lessons from games like tonight and trying to get healthier and get better.
I think the biggest goal that they can look at is the guys are getting playing time. Some younger guys are getting opportunities to get out there and get Friday night action for 4 quarters, and that's huge for the future of this team.
They'll play St. Joe next week at Rice Field. 2nd and 6 from the 16. Buckley rolling out with time, launches it. Nobody open, but a flag thrown over on the other side, and it could be some defensive holding.
Yeah, it looked like Buckley just threw that ball away so he didn't take the sack. Smart play, but there definitely looked like there was some contact and maybe a hold on the defense.
Matt Fulton said somebody had a hold of his shoulder pads, and maybe that's how it was seen as well. It's holding on Elkhart. Corey Yeoman says, well, of course we'll take the penalty. Corey, we mentioned in his 19th season, he's in the Indiana Football Hall of Fame. He was the first Penn player to enter the Indiana Football Hall of Fame. And in his 19 years as a head coach, he's been to the state finals 4 times and has 14 NIC titles.
Yeah, pleasure guy that I get to talk to, not as much as I'd like to, but definitely during football season, it's a guy I'd like to go down, give a little chat to, catch up on the family and everything, but definitely a quality character and a long-time tradition here at Penn.
Well, he told me this week that outside of football and family, he really has no other interests. He'll play an occasional round of golf with his son, and that's about it. 1st and goal from the 8. It's Hardrick coming up the middle, and Hardrick picking up 5 yards. And for Corey Yeoman, so much of his family has been involved in football. We're up here in the press box. There's a picture of the 83 team that Corey was a member of. And, you know, there's his dad, Wally Yeoman, up there. And, of course, his brother Trent on the coaching staff as well. And Gary coaching. So, I mean, all of a sudden, you take a look at all the players up there, and it's incredible the impact the Yeomans have had on Penn.
Well, and that's the thing a lot you get with Penn is they get a lot of grandparents and parents and siblings that play out here and cousins, and it's just the tradition that they have. And when you start a season 0-4, a lot of those people aren't too happy about that because of the tradition.
But they're happy tonight as Alec Hardrick scores his 4th touchdown of the evening, and the Kingsmen widen the lead to 30-3 with an Elkhart Lion down on the field. You get another look from Competitive Edge Sports and Spine. I'm almost guaranteeing you what Alec Hardrick will say tonight. I couldn't have done it without my line, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah, just a great job of really finding that hole, but the hole's got to be there first to find it. Just a great job by the offensive line tonight, and a great job on the ground for this Penn Kingsman team.
So 4:29 to go as the Elkhart coaching staff attends to the injured player out on the field. Halftime score, LaPorte leading Lake Central by a count of 13-12. Northwood still with that 37-7 lead on Wawasee in the third. It's halftime, Merrillville leads Michigan City 20-14. In Michigan, fourth quarter, Sand Creek on top of Brandywine 54-34. Tippecanoe Valley now with a 20-7 lead on North Judson in the third. By the way, those 20 points allowed by North Judson, that's the most they've given up to anybody so far this year. And Edwardsburg now 4-0. They beat Vicksburg 49-0. 26-19, Jimtown beats Bremen tonight. Fourth quarter. So the injured player coming off the field for Elkhart. And Braden Primrose on to try the extra point. It's sponsored by Matt Tallman Health Markets. Nolan McCullough, the holder. Snap, set down, kick are all good. 4:29 to go in this one. Penn cruising to win number 1 of the season. Doesn't seem possible that it took 5 weeks the way this team is playing tonight. Alec Hardrick, have a night. 4 touchdowns, 31-3 Penn on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week brought to you in part by the Jordan Automotive Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. Looks like Grant Mallory will handle the kickoff duties now for Penn as Corey Yeoman trying to get a few more kids into the game tonight with a 31-3 lead.
Yeah, the keys to win tonight for Penn were don't give up big plays. They only gave up a couple that didn't go for 6. Stay on blocks, well, their offensive line was fantastic tonight, and eliminate mental errors. No turnovers, not many flags on them, offense or defense. I think they definitely had their keys to win tonight.
It'll be a very curious matchup next week against Marion in the NIC Big School Division, as the kickoff is returned by the Lions out to the 23-yard line, and Brady Cooper and Elkhart will see if they can at least get into the end zone here in the final 4:22 of this one. Penn with many of its second teamers out there on defense right now. But Josiah Williams still out there for the Kingsmen at defensive end.
Good opportunity for some of these younger guys to get some playing time here on a Friday night. Parents in the stands.
Remember, Penn was a 500 team last year, but had all kinds of difficulties with COVID last season. Obviously not off to a great start this year, but if they were to win out and win the NIC, they would only have to have 1 win in the tournament, and they would have a winning season. So here's Elias Leonard going forward, not even getting to the line of scrimmage. Well, it looks like they'll be generous with the spot and give him about a half a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
It'll be interesting next week to see the difference in size with this Penn offensive line. I just think that offensive line's going to be a little bit of a problem for the Marion Knights.
Although Marion handled the size of New Prairie very, very well last week, and New Prairie's offensive line with those big tackles they have, including the D1 commit Hunter Whitenack, quite frankly, had been more effective this year than Penn had been coming in. Now, they didn't play Cathedral and St. Xavier. That will make you less than effective.
Yeah, definitely.
But Penn felt very confident. When I went to practice on Wednesday, Bo, I wasn't sure what I would be walking into. And their players understood what they had gone up against, what they had seen, and they felt like, okay, we're going in the NIC, that's a different animal. And I think it has shown tonight. Penn came out with the old-fashioned Penn swagger and confidence.
Yeah, I saw that too. When I'm out pre-game out on the field, talking to Corey, talking to some of the players, and just kind of getting the feel. I felt that swagger. I felt that confidence exuding from them, and it really felt like the old Penn teams.
2nd and 14 from the 20 after the penalty. Leonard on a draw play is able to pick up about 3 yards, and it'll be 3rd and 11. So 3rd down and 11. And Kruper will put 2 receivers off to his right, bring Rodney Gates to his left. As the clock continues to tick, we'll continue to keep an eye on some other scores around the area. We appreciate Bethel University and our Napanee Missionary Church sponsorship of our live stream tonight. And the throw out into the flat to Stilley, who makes the snare but can't get past a cadre of Penn defenders who stop him up at the 26-yard line. So 4th down and another punting situation. Scott Shaw and Niles get another win tonight up in Michigan over Three Rivers. They took that one 22-16. Of course, Scott built the Hall of Fame career up in Michigan at Three Rivers and now coaching at Niles. South Central with a 12-7 lead on Osceola Grace in the 4th quarter. New Prairie on top of St. Joe 28-0 at the half. Also at the half now, LaPorte leading Lake Central by a count of 13-12. Pedro Velasquez with the punt. It's sponsored by Matt Tallman and Health Markets. Nobody back deep for Penn, so this will help the Velasquez punting average, no question, as it rolls down to the 21-yard line. That's a 54-yard punt with no return with 1:24 left. Reminder, college football on Pulse FM on Saturday. What a doubleheader this is in the state of Indiana. One of the best days of college football this season. Number 8 Cincinnati takes on Indiana. That's Saturday at noon on 103.1 FM. And then on Pulse FM 92.1 and 96.9 at 2:30. Jeff Brom and the undefeated Purdue Boilermakers roll into Notre Dame Stadium to take on the 12th-ranked Fighting Irish. We'll have coverage for you all day long on 103.1, 92.1, and 96.9, your home for Big Ten football. And a reminder that the timeout here for Penn is sponsored by the Glenn Schultz Agency. With backups going into the game, the Kingsmen want to make sure that everybody's on the same page here for how they're supposed to line up on this play, as Nolan McCullough will come in at quarterback, a sophomore who's carried the ball a couple of times this year. And you see McCullough working with one of the backup setters right there. McCullough has a grandfather, Pat, on the Penn coaching staff and is the heir apparent to Ryan Buckley next season in this Penn program. But the Kingsmen, for the first time all year, will have a chance to feel real good about themselves as this one comes to an end here at Freed Field. And the student body, the band, a lot of the fans have stuck around for the end of this one to sing the fight song and celebrate. Penn lining up in victory formation here and letting some guys get some playing time towards letters. Won't help the rushing stats of Nolan McCullough, but he doesn't care too much about that right now. He just wants to be able to drain the clock here for the final 1:13 of this one. And Penn's dominance of the Elkhart schools continues here. Now, I realize that they've only been playing a unified Elkhart High School twice, but prior to that, against teams like Elkhart Central and Elkhart Memorial over the years, you include those games, Penn is now 80-4 lifetime against teams from the city of Elkhart on the gridiron. McCullough takes one more snap. He might have to do that one more time, although they'll take their time setting the ball here. And that should do it from TCU Freed Field. So the Penn Kingsmen move to 1-4 on the year. They've got the Marion Knights next week over at Atulski Field. Elkhart drops to 2-3. they'll get to return home to the banks of the Elkhart River at Rice Field and take on the St. Joe Indians. Card 3, the Heine's Back Barn postgame show comes your way after this on the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by
The day began at Penn High School with the Penn drum line marching through the hallways to get everybody fired up for this one, and it ends with Penn banging the drum just like they did against Elkhart tonight, winning 31-3 and picking up win number 1. Welcome everybody to the Heine's Back Barn postgame show. Chuck and Bo high above the fray, although he's been everywhere. We'll toss it to him down on the field in a moment. That's why he's sweating. And I'm vamping to give you a little time to catch your breath. But seriously, an impressive performance by the Penn Kingsmen tonight in this 31-3 triumph. And really, I thought they dominated all 3 phases of the game tonight.
Yeah, the field position for special teams was a huge factor. And then you look at the offense, the offensive line, the surge, the ability to run the ball like they did, the ability for Buckley to complete passes when necessary, and the defensive backfield. What a great job they did tonight against this explosive Elkhart team.
But when it came to the running game, of course, those big horses up front did the job, but it helps to have somebody with some speed in the backfield. You remember what that used to be like. And you speedily went down to the field and spoke to our player of the game. It's Alec Hardrick, who had 4 touchdowns tonight.
Standing by with our player of the game, Alec Hardrick, 4 touchdowns tonight. Just talk about this 31-3 victory and how sweet it is.
It's amazing, man. I mean, we coming off of a 0-4 start. You know, it was a tough start. We had some tough opponents, but we just try to really learn about our mistakes and come in this game with the right mindset to win.
That offensive line was opening up some holes that you guys were able to get through. Talk about that ground game that you guys had tonight.
I mean, they're amazing. I love those guys. They work hard. They give me their all, and I try and do that in return. And tonight, they're definitely doing their job. I just had to do my own.
You guys started out 0-4, but it's conference now. You guys are 1-0. You guys are undefeated, actually, in conference. So how does that feel moving forward for the NIC?
Amazing, man. It's some great fuel to get us fired up, get us going in practice. We're definitely going to try and bound on this and get going in NIC.
Big game next week versus Marion. Thoughts on the game?
They have some great athletes. Number 1, Greg, he's amazing. They have some athletes. We have some athletes, too. We're going to have to go out there and make plays and just do our job.
Hey, congratulations being our player of the game.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Elkhart ran into a very physical Penn team tonight, and obviously the Lions have to get healthy. They have to heal up. But I saw enough signs from Josh Shattuck's team to think they could be a dangerous animal come tournament time.
Yeah, I think they definitely got some good weapons. They got some guys on defense that can really step up as well. They get those guys back from injuries, get some younger guys that haven't got the quality playing time. 3-4 games under their belt, they're going to be a totally different team come sectionals.
And our thanks to our TV 46 crew. I say that you don't like to know how the sausage is made, but folks, they were looking at no power at 6:45, and we got on the air just 3 plays into this game. So what a job by our engineer, Mike Doherty, by our production manager, Dean Korsmo, and the rest of our 46 crew to bring you this one. And they give you that kind of passionate effort week in and week out. We can't say enough how much we love and appreciate them. And we appreciate you for watching as well. Hope you'll be listening to the radio tomorrow for a dandy college doubleheader. 103.1. Number 8, Cincinnati at Indiana at the Rockin' Memorial Stadium at noon. Then it's Purdue and Notre Dame at 2:30 on 92.1 and 96.9. And next week, we continue on the road to Indianapolis with more regular season action, this time from the NLC, as we'll see who has bragging rights of North in Elkhart County. It's Northridge and Northwood from Intera Field in Middlebury at 6:45 on Facebook, YouTube, and the Champions Network, and on TV 46 at 11. Once again, from our broadcast partner, Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. The final score, Penn 31, Elkhart 3. So long from the banks of the mighty St. Joe.